Shema Yasharala Yahweh Eloheinu Akkad. 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 Shalom. All praises, honor, and glorification unto our power. Call Halim La Eloheinu Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations as well as health and wellness unto the hopeful elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai scattered across the earth. This is your brother Allah coming to you with another lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson will be entitled, Emotions Can Divert Your Mind from Reality, so exhort to control them. And Lord willing, the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai be edified. And let's get right into it. So first and foremost, I want to start off at the book of 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, starting at verse 26. And it reads, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. And along with your body come emotions, right? Because emotions, are, along with your body come emotions, right? So we have to exhort to keep under our body and bringing it to subjection, but also our emotions, and and it will behoove us to exhort to control them or master them, which we're not perfect, but there's nothing more, we ought to strive for perfection. Not in the sense of being over righteous, but rather being the best versions of ourselves to the best of our ability, Right? The perfection will come when when we get those new bodies, and the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is established. So maybe perfection isn't, the proper word to use there, but we should strive towards, being the best version of ourselves that we can be, despite the fact that we're in corrupt flesh, because that's no excuse to not, try and be the best person you can be. And not according to the world standard or our standard, but, our standard should be the Lord's standard, the word of the Lord. But, according to the Lord's standard is my point. Right, so let me go to the book of Proverbs, the 16th chapter, verse 32. And it reads, He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. Because that's a mighty thing, to have control over yourself. That's a mighty as well as manly thing. Because even the scriptures speak about that. Let me see. This is the Titus, the 2nd chapter, verse 1. And it says, But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, right? Grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity, and patience. Right now, when you go into that word temperate, Lucky. The word temperate says of a sound mind, sane in one's senses, self-controlled, curbing one's desires and impulses, temperate. So men are supposed to be like that, man. You know, because so verse 1 again, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith and charity and patience. Jumping down to verse 6, it says, young men likewise exhort to be sober minded. See, when you're not sober, you lack self-control. But when you're sober, when you're sober, you have more self-control than you do when you're not sober. So when you go into that term sober-minded, really it means, because when you're sober, you have more self-control than when you're not sober. And then minded, dealing with the mind. So that mental self-control. It says to exercise self-control, to curb one's passions, be in right mind, soberly, to be sober-minded. So you should get the point, right? So Titus 2 and 6, it says, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, in all things shewing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine shewing uncorruptness, see that? Gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. So next, let me get the book of James, the first chapter, verse 19. And it reads, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Let me get the book of Proverbs, the 14th chapter, verse 29. It reads, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. Right, Proverbs 15 and 1, it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Let me get this, Ephesians 4:26. It reads, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Right? Jumping down to verse 31. Well, let me see. Let me get Titus. Titus 1 and 7. It says, for a bishop must be blameless as the steward of the Most High, not self-willed. See that? Which really none of us should be self-willed. If anything, we should be selfless, which is pursuant to the book of Romans 12 and 1. It reads, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Right? The definition of the word selfless, it says, concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own. Unselfish. So we should be more concerned with the requirements and desires of the Lord than our own desires, because we should desire to be pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. Right? So, let me see, Titus, we got that, right? Titus 1 and 7, it says, for a bishop must be blameless as the steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angry, not giving them wine, no striker, not giving a filthy lucre. See that, not soon angry, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, there go that word again, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Right? So yeah, we got that. Let me get Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, which I'm going off of a flashcard, which is from probably a year ago or something. But Ecclesiastes 7:9, it reads, "Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools." Now there's a balance, of course. Seeing wickedness should vex you, but you don't want to be to the point where you can't control yourself. You're acting, you're operating irrationally. That's it. I think irrationally. Irrational meaning not logical or reasonable. See that? See, yeah. So irrationally. Let me get Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 28. It reads, "He that hath no rule over his spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." And a city that is broken down and without walls, anybody can come in, right? See that he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls, no control, right? No, because self-control is a defense. So Proverbs 19 and 11, it reads, "The discretion of a man differeth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression." And let me pull that in another translation. Shalakia. Let me get the NLT. It says, "Sensible people control their temper. They earn respect by overlooking wrongs." But see that sensible people control their temper. Let me see if there's another one. Get the CSB. A person's insight. Right. But Lord willing, I'll end it with this. Right. The book of Psalms, the 37th chapter, verse 8. And it reads, "Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil." So that's pretty much the point. And like I said, there's a balance, right? You got to remember there's a time and place for everything. But you don't want to be to the point where you're acting or operating rather irrationally as a result of your emotions, you know? Right. So that's pretty much the point. With that, Lord willing, you were edified. Once again and forever, all praises, honor, and glorification unto our power. Call Halim La Allahayna wa Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations as well as health and wellness unto the hopeful elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai scattered across the earth. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Wa Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Baba Kasha Abba Baba. Wa Shalom DTA soon and stay sharp. Keep pushing.